Welcome to the Two Act Podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, gothjon. Who else am I speaking with?
Hi, everyone. I'm your other co host, Adi, and excited about today's episode.
Awesome. We have our very first guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, podcast. I'm Hicks. I'm a super heavy Alien fan, I can say, and very good friends to Adi from we met each other in London, and yeah, back that time we talk a lot about alien exciting topics, and yeah, I'm so great to be here to talk about the latest Alien film with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, we're so excited to have you. You know, you're our first podcast guest, and we're here to talk about Alien Romulus. I believe, John, you've got a bit of synopsis written out.
Yeah. All right. So I pulled this off IMDb, so don't hate me. While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonists come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. Well, Adi, what did you think of Alien Romulus?
Well, first of all, when I saw the film, I instantly remembered Hicks, and the reason why it makes sense to have him here today with us is it goes back to my time in university in 2020, in the time of our Lord COVID, which was so strange. And I met Hicks for the first time at student dorms. And, you know, if I had to describe Hicks to you, imagine like a really tall, like probably 6'6", 6'5", lean dude, goth inspired, cool outfit, wearing all black, crazy leather boots. He's got a beanie on, and he's wearing this really cool black North Face puffer jacket with Wayland Yutani graffitied on the back. And the minute I saw that, I just thought, wow, this guy looks like he's walking right out from a movie, from an alien movie. And then I had to I remember the first time we met was so funny because I was so drunk. Hicks was actually kind enough to help me out because I was so on the cusp of passing out. But he's just the coolest dude. And I don't think I've met anyone who's such a diehard fan of the franchise and fan of alien films as much as his knowledge is of the films. So it just made sense to reach out to him. And as soon as I saw Romulus, I just thought of Hicks, and I was like, that's our guy. We got to bring him on. So we're really glad you decided to join us for this episode. And before I go to my opening thoughts, I think let's let our special guest take over, and let's ask him, what did you think of Alien Romulus?
Thank you, Adi. Definitely the sweetest thing I heard today. I love you so much, bro. And yeah, honestly,
I love you too, bro.
yeah, honestly,
The bromance continues.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I love aliens so much. I started to study alien as a topic, as a horror creature since I was back to elementary school, because back that time this creature scared the hell out of me. So yeah, and but nowadays it's a very limited people that I can really talk about this old story, because well, nowadays the IP, I have to admit, the IP is not new anymore, but glad that we see this new production this year. And well, honestly, personally, I really like this new Alien picture, despite of course it's not perfect, and I think in a lot of ways this picture can even push to the further limit. But to sum up, I think it's a successful one to at its current position, which is attracting more young generations to become followers. And yeah, I think it played a pretty decent role in that, because well, without let's talk about reality, without the profits and any new push and any new attempts won't be worked for the 20 Fox studio. And Yeah, I said.
Yeah, they're Disney now. Aliens are owned by Disney. I never thought I'd live to see that day happen.
Oh my God,
But
really?
that's the reality.
Dang.
Yeah, they got 20th Century Fox got bought out by Disney. And everything they own now is owned by Disney. So I believe this is like the first Alien film to come out from Disney's ownership of the franchise. But I couldn't agree more with you on opening thoughts. I also felt exactly the same. I thought it was a really good genre film. It felt like a haunted house type of film where you're kind of in a escape room situation, and there's lots of thrills and suspense, and it sort of went back to its original roots of trying to be more like a claustrophobic thriller lost in space. And you got all these new younger characters, and it's directed by Fede Alvarez, who's a really well-known horror director of suspense. He's done films like Don't Breathe and Evil Dead, the recent one. And I thought it was a good attempt in trying to like get the new generation in. And what did you think about it, John?
So, I thought it was okay. I really liked the opening scenes of silence. I was a big fan of that. When movies completely cut all the audio out, you can kind of feel that the space. Because, if you scream in space and there's no one here to hear it, will they hear it?
No one there to hear you, no.
Exactly. I thought it was all right. Was it, like you said, was it the greatest Alien movie? Absolutely not. That's the first one, at least my opinion. And it felt very like video gamey at times.
It did, yeah. And that brings me to again alert back to the expertise of our guests, because Hicks, I believe, a lot of this film is influenced by the game Alien Isolation, which I unfortunately have never played, but I believe you have. Was like anything you found like parallels or similarities, like playing the game that you thought this film like tried to take on, or what was it like for you?
Yeah, definitely got to say I was pretty surprised when I was in theater, see all those, the decoration in the space station. It's like completely like the clone version of the Alien Isolation. And I have to say, as a video game, as a horror game, that Alien Isolation definitely it could be the top three rank of the like most horrified game I played in decades. And I do find that the interior design in the game, all the design language is very successful, and I'm pretty glad to see that in theater one day. And I have to say that's a nice trick. And also in the video game, I wouldn't say that all the personas are acting in the singularity way, but in the video game that you have to control the Ripley's daughter and to escaping from alien and initially searching for the data devices from her mother's the ship. And so in that world, that in this latest Alien production, that when I saw those British accent teenagers into the space station, it's kind of like a flashback into the game. And of course, the ending is completely different compared to the Alien Isolation, but the general roots, I would say, is pretty similar. It's like 6 out of 10. And their decisions, the thrill point, the most horrified moment, the combat, Alien Isolation. But of course, the in the video game, somehow the player would be a little bit bored in the middle of the journey, because in the game you have to like running back and front to like repeating repair
It's more
stuff.
of a stealth game, isn't it?
Yeah. Like in the middle, in the
Yeah.
middle of it, just before the bunch of alien appear. Yeah. I have to say the in the isolation, the alien. I would say the in the video game that alien figure has more pressure on me. That's probably because I was in the first player view to control the
Oh,
persona,
okay.
and also there's not really like any companies besides me in the game. Like most of the time, the player just act alone. Probably some kind of video call or like FaceTime reminder from point to point. But
Yeah.
exactly.
You bring up a good point because like it is isolation. Like that would be actually way more scarier if it was an alien. Imagine if Romulus is a film with just one person in it,
You
trapped
better
in
be
a
a
space station.
really good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to be really like it would have to be a really good written character and a great actor who could play that. And that would, I would say, it would have taken it up a notch for me if it had to. But it would have been really difficult to pull off like on a narrative and technical level because you're just working with one person. But in this regard, like I felt like I couldn't I couldn't really I know there's some really good like performances with the new actors. Like you've got Caly Spaeny, who's like obviously, there's always the Alien films have always had like a very powerful female protagonist across the films, like obviously Sigourney Weaver and that Noomi Rapace, and then you've got like Catherine Waterston in Covenant, I believe, and now in this one you got Caly Spaeny, who's sort of had a breakout year with films. Like she's just done like a few really popular indies with Elvis and I think Priscilla, and then she's in another few projects that are come out that are really big. And then you've got, I believe the other actors are Archie Renault and David Johnson. David Johnson is the actor, the British actor who plays the android brother, adoptive brother of Caly Spaeny's character Rain in the
That's
film.
why you said what?
And
What?
What?
I
Water.
bet you guys were like, "Oh, I know exactly what he's saying." I was like,
bowl of water.
"What is
Oh.
he saying? It's in the water."
At least he didn't say aluminium.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
fall
cute.
right into that.
Yeah. I mean, he was good. I thought he had the most challenging role because he had to like play
Two characters.
like two characters, and you at that point you were thinking, oh, like he's gonna be the evil android who gets corrupted. But it was nice to see the performance is really layered, and I think that was because probably it was the best written character.
Right.
But there were some other characters in there who I literally could not care about. like there's this obnoxious dude who's just like bullying
the android.
this character, the android, and I believe he gets like acid spunked on his face.
That's what he was asking for.
It's one of the most gruesome like deaths, and I was just like, I couldn't wait for that to happen. I was like, it's only a matter of time. Most of you guys are gonna get killed. We know. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Like we've seen similar things across the Alien films that we can expect, and this film definitely didn't break that mold. I thought it carried a lot of like, there's a lot of callbacks. There was a lot of like thematic threads that were picked up from the other Alien films, and there was some connections to even Prometheus and Covenant, which I thought was interesting. I mean, was there anything, Hicks or John? Feel free to chime in and.
Oh, the CGI AI guy. Like, what was that?
Oh yes,
That was
yes.
bad.
Oh,
I wasn't sure if like So I went to a theater and I was all by myself, and there was nobody else I could ask, obviously. But I'm sitting in this theater. There's this AI guy. I'm thinking he's a callback because I vaguely remember him from a different Alien movie. And I was like, why did they pick him? He doesn't even look good. I'm having flashbacks from Luke Skywalker and the Mandalorian show, and then seeing like Carrie
Grand Moff
Fisher.
Tarkin.
Grand Moff
from Rogue One.
You get like it's like that. You get uneasy. You're not sure why you're uneasy because they don't like look real. It's that uncanny valley type feel, and you're staring at this character, and you're supposed to take him seriously, and they made them all like there were some parts I liked about it, but they should have made that all practical. They should have like melted off his face. That looked like shit. It took me out of the movie.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a shame because on a technical level, the production design is flawless. The sound design is great. The cinematography hits, and they even got like the same original workers who worked on the first Alien film. They got them back to do the set design, and they use like props from the old film, which you can see. I mean, it feels like you just freshly walked back into the original movie. It literally is the same space station, which has gone derelict because it's set obviously after the first Alien film and in between Aliens. But I thought like that was the most jarring bit of the film, the fact that they had Ash, but he's not Ash.
Yeah.
He's meant to be another character called Rook. But he's played by Ian Holm. Sorry, not Stephen Holm. Ian Holm, who was an actor who played the original android in the first Alien film, but he sadly passed away like a few years ago. So what they did was like apparently they had the permission from his estate to be like to feature his appearance in the film, and like basically they just digitally recreated his character, and it definitely feels like the most like off-putting thing because like the CGI looks so bad whenever like they had him or his upper body lying there on the like. What did you think of that, Hicks? Like when you saw that character, like were you surprised?
Yeah, I was absolutely surprised, guys. When I saw that face last time, it was in Alien 1. It was like during my middle school. Yeah, I was happy to see them bring Ash, like that model of cyborg back. And as usual, the cyborg is only following the Weyland-Yutani's highest interest, and just not very human, not very friendly, only about profit. It's a perfect capitalistic machine, and admire the alien, call it as a perfect creature. Just I definitely surprised when I saw Ash, and I was like, talk to myself like, this time seems like they're serious about that. They're serious about like contribution about the old legends. And also another point I really like is when we saw Rain carrying the rifle back to the space station. It's just like Ripley. Well, Ripley was posing at the end of the Alien 2. Just both of our queens are like trying to saving the others.
Callbacks.
Yeah, and
you even had the little xenomorph like straight out of Covenant.
Yeah.
That one looked a little bit better though. That one looked a little bit more endearing. More you could go, oh, it's so cute. It's gonna rip their face off.
Yeah.
There's that bit where like she says, "Get away from her, you bitch," and that's like a direct. Yeah, that's like a direct like callback to one of the Alien films. I just thought like that felt a bit like cheesy fan service, which I felt was unnecessary. And it's even more contradicting because like, if I'm not mistaken, that line is from Aliens, right?
Alien 2,
the second film.
Yeah.
Alien 2.
Yeah.
And this happens before Alien 2.
Yeah,
so it's a bit contradicting.
Yeah, so
like fan service wise, I don't know. I felt it was a bit cheesy. Like that bit didn't work for me. Like some of the callbacks felt like they were too shoehorned in the film,
You want to
which
talk
didn't
about
necessarily
cheesy?
need it.
Adi, how did you feel about the dad jokes?
I don't know. It's like there were surface level jokes, but I don't think humor was the strongest suit of this film. I think like there's something though about, I gotta say, in terms of like enjoyment factor, there's something about watching a crew just get fucked up in space by xenomorphs. And no matter like how many times they make a new Alien movie, you can always count on that happening.
Yeah.
And I think like, it's like, that's why I said like, it feels like for a lot of the movie you just know like, okay, a lot of these characters are going to be killed. And what they tried to do was they kind of had like 6 characters or less. And in my opinion, I think they should have had more characters, because if you're going to go down the route of killing the crew, you should have more killings, more deaths. I felt it was less. Did you guys feel that way?
Yeah, that's a very good point because like the space station Romulus and which I think like in the very beginning of the film, like just like John said, all silence opening, and when they recover that old piece from the Alien One, and we see a bunch of like a well equipment professional squad rush into it, and also bring back to the alien isolation. Like even in the game, you see a lot. You are definitely not a only person in the space station. Like there are people, there are a lot of people, there are a lot of survivors. Like people fight for their own goods. There's so different gang. It's like hanging out in the middle of the night at LA, and but in the movie, we didn't saw like too much victims or like survivors from the space station. Like, but I guess at certain points they evacuated or they are dead. Like, yeah, in the end, we saw like some of the survivors appear in the aliens' home. But yeah, definitely, I wish I can
Not
see.
like what they did in Aliens 3, where they had like,
Yeah,
in Aliens 2, you had all these characters who survived. And then Alien 3, they're like, nope, they're all dead.
yeah, no, 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 no. Yeah, so yeah, Alien 3 is just a bunch of bold criminals, and it's also cute. Uh, yeah, so yeah, for this picture, I really, I wish I can see more of the other Villain Eternities crew members. I mean,
I kind of agree with you as well. Like, I don't know, like, John, I don't know how you feel about it, but I thought, like, the opening was where I was like, ooh, I love the mystery. I love the suspense.
yeah,
You got this crew show up and they're investigating, and, there's this, like, eerie, like, suspense building on what's going to happen. But then we never hear back from the company. It's almost like that's it. The corporation, the Weyland Yutani has no involvement in rest of the film's plot, which I thought was a bit of a underwhelming bit for me. It was only when when Rook, the CGI android, tries to like sabotage the mission
yeah.
and trap these guys in, because obviously he's acting in the prime directives of the company. But I felt like I wish there was more like to the lore of the film, of the alien world, like because it's like you look at Covenant and Prometheus, they're not like perfect films, but they've got big ideas. Like they're trying to do more philosophical stuff. But then you got this film, which is being more grounded. It's trying to be more of like a, 90-minute suspense thriller, which is great. But I kind of wish it had a bit more to the lore and the mythology of aliens in it. Did you guys like feel that way, or you felt like it worked?
What about you, John?
This movie had jump scares in it.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
need jump
Oh,
scares
yeah.
in horror. Knock it off.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
I wrote in my notes, fucking jump scares are annoying. There's 3 of them. Loud sounds aren't scary. They're not.
Yeah.
What is scary is, the slow burn, that slight creep up. You see, the xenomorph crawling like out of frame and into frame. When you see that shit and the person on screen doesn't know that they're about to get their face ripped off, Like that's suspense. That's where the movie succeeds. And then when you get like a gigantic CGI guy talking, you're just like, what is this? And then you have a video game scene where they turn up the temperature of a room so that they're the same temperature.
That was cool. I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
That's something new in this picture.
I thought that was a cool bit where like they need to go through like this room of facehuggers, and the only way they can do this is because the facehuggers detects human temperatures, body temperatures, so they had to like mimic the same temperatures across, and that bit was cool. Stuff like that was because it worked. Because I think like that's again playing into the strengths of the director, who's like, look, if you've seen his work, you'll know that he's really good at directing suspense. That's his A game.
Yeah, that's
and I
true.
think like that's what he tried to do. And the good thing is he had like, he had the toys to play around with it. I was watching some of the behind the scenes, and they actually use animatrix, or I don't know how you pronounce it correctly. Is that the right word?
Yeah, it's
basically
like,
these robotic
robots.
creatures, robots. Yeah, they made robot xenomorphs, and they were like used on set, and that's fucking cool. We need more of that. We need less of CGI, and we need more practical effects.
Yeah, we really need to bring back some old house techniques from last century. And back to John's point, I have to say I really agree with John. Like, jump scare is nothing. Jump scare, like, well, yeah, I still remember, like, after I watched this new Alien, the next morning, Adi texted me, like, yo, bro, how do you feel about the film? I was like, I only wish there's like less jump scare and more about like the pressure from the atmosphere. So I mean, Aliens succeed not by jump scare. The jump scare is crap. Like any fucking excuse my word, any like name.
Oh no, you can swear as much as you want, bro. There's no.
We're not
rating
monetized.
here.
You don't have to worry about that.
I mean the free land. I'm free at last. Thank you guys. So like any shit horror film can use jump scares, and it's kind of sad to see. Like, I mean, I'm okay if the director wanna use one or two times through the whole movie. That's fine. But all the jumping, like all the scary point that I understand, I get it. It's from jump scare. It's like nothing. Yeah, like facehugger. It's a excellent instrument on like emphasizing the desperation, and also the alien moving silent upside down, sometimes in the roof. But we didn't really see that kind of vibe in Romulus. And I think that's something that I really wish that in the future production that I can like re-experience.
Hicks, what did you think about that temperature scene?
Temperature thing. Yeah, I have to say that's something new. I mean, I never saw that kind of method in Alien universe, and so interesting. But you remember while they're in the middle of that facehugger forest, I think that the male character, the Tyler, if I remember correct. Was kind of
Tyler, the ex-boyfriend.
Received a message from her sister, and he started to, blow his temperature, and that's cute. I mean, I think if I mean we all saw this director's other films, and I think it can be better. It can have a better factor to causing the characters' body temperature rising compared to sisters help, I need help text. But cute. I mean cute. It's a good. It was a creative thing. It was a creative thing. Not perfect, but not bad as a new try.
It felt like a video game, like you were trying to get through
the stealth section.
A certain subsection.
Mary Jane
you had
and
to
Spider-Man,
hit the checkpoint,
and you're not trying to get caught by the bad guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like. Yeah, it's like that kind of typical mission, and
I think there were like loads of Easter eggs as well. There were like loads of game references from Isolation. Like I believe they had like there were like similar bits in the game where you hit checkpoints.
yeah,
I don't know if there were like certain like props which were actually like made for the film, and they were like discreetly placed at certain points where you felt like, okay, they're going through a different, like they're entering the second act here, or they're going to go to another big scene here, and you'd see that reference. So that was a bit clever. I thought like they tried to sneak in like certain Easter eggs and stuff, and but I wanted to talk about the characters. Did you guys have like a favorite character, or if you didn't have a favorite character?
Andy, for sure. The AI Andy. He's my
yeah,
because
he's cute.
so Rain treats him like a brother because he's kind of special. He's dysfunctional, and then he gets that sweet upgrade because they can't open a door because the other dorks are stuck in the facehugger chamber, and so Rain's dad wrote a bunch of terrible dad jokes, which. Sure, if you like those are endearing. I was wondering if it was a kid's movie when they said that first one. Andy's upgraded; it completely changes his character. That's when I'm on board for Andy. I'm all about they do the trolley experiment. I'm where the AI will save more people than less people. Like it's a numbers game. Like I'm all about that. That's how you get any people to survive these movies is not being emotional, and you got to let some people die.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's for sure.
And that's best described in that scene where I believe is a pregnant girl,
Yep.
Kay, is stuck,
Yep.
and she's about to get like basically killed by a xenomorph, and Andy refuses to open the door when Tyler's like, "Open the door, like we
Yeah.
can save them." Like,
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought that bit was great because it built his character, and you're like on the edge, and you're thinking, "Oh shit! Like, is he really like doing what's best for them, or is he like corrupted?"
Is he doing what's best for
Because
Wayland?
I'm used to seeing Fassbender and his take on the android character, and I thought like, okay, like he did a really like top notch performance, like playing David, who's fucked up android AI gone out of control, and you had Walter, and they played with the theme of duality there. But this was more interesting because it was the same guy. It was the same model,
Same character.
who had like two different directives. So I thought that worked a lot, and I agree as well. Like I thought he was my favorite character as well, like most interesting compared to the humans.
yeah,
Do you
definitely.
have a favorite character?
Oh, I mean, yeah, Andy, of course. Yeah, he's adorable as a cyborg. Yeah, and I would say another one of my favorite gotta be Tyler. Because I think this character is rich, but sadly we didn't like really have time to show the story of this character. But if you remember that Tyler was quite militarized when they are when they first aboard the space station. You can see Taylor was showing some kind of military hand pose
We play
to
video
the
games.
others. Yeah, and yeah, in the middle when they are Taylor was teaching Rain how to use the pulse rifle, and which back at that moment I was like, this character has more story to tell. Maybe he was like an ex-marine. Maybe he got canceled by the military. Maybe yeah. I mean, I do curious about Taylor and compared to all the others, and but yeah, I don't really feel related to his like punk brother, like just bully Android, just bully the Android all the way through. But compared to the brother, the Taylor is more mature and more technical skills, definitely. And yeah, interesting. It's a little surprise for me.
Yeah, you feel for his death though, because like it got to a point where there was like you're wondering, oh, maybe he'll survive, but then yeah, he ends up just getting killed and you're like, well, because the thing is, even though it's his plan that ultimately like fucks them up, he still kind of had like good intentions in terms of like he didn't be a dick to the rest or abandon them or like the other guy, for example, the brother.
Yeah.
Was he the brother? I don't know. He was just a dick. That guy was obnoxious.
Yeah, just the typical UK teenager activities. Yeah, like fuck this shit we are, and and the Taylor and Rain still reminds me of like Ripley and Sergeant Hicks from Alien 2. You know, the Hicks was teaching
your namesake.
Yeah, Hicks was teaching Ripley how to use a rifle,
and it's a good. And I think it's a good point to even tell our listeners why you're called Hicks, even though it's a bit self-explanatory there. But
yeah,
you gotta give us that story as well.
Yeah, because when I was watching Alien 2 for the first time, I just loved that character, that Sergeant Hicks, and I really love the Space Marine idea, and I see the fascination in that character. He's not like stupid. He's not like doing childish behavior, and also I really love this actor who is also play what's his name? Anyway, the John Connor's dad from Terminator 1. Cowries, sorry about my memory. And so when I was chosen my serious English name before I go to UK, I was like, wait a minute. If you really want to stuck in the Space Marine, so why do we just call ourselves Hicks? You don't see that name appear so often.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
It is a very badass name, and I'm very jealous. You got to pick your own
last
name
name.
like that. I wish I could.
Sure, you could. You just go to the courts. Call yourself, Super Mega Ultra Slayer. That's your real name. And then your
or Negasonic, longest name ever.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. That's a fucking badass name.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see some of my classmates like have a super cute, super long term name.
If only we could do that. If only we could pick our own names based on our own favorite characters. That would be.
Everybody would just call me gothjon. That would just be it. They're like, you're not even goth, and they're like, I haven't been goth in like 15 years. That's fine.
Don't worry. Yeah, imagine if one day you guys gonna go study abroad to China, then you gotta prepare yourself a Chinese name. Yeah, and
I would. Yeah,
that would be the window. Right. Yeah, that would be the perfect window. I'm
going for Jackie Chan.
Yeah, you could. Fuck yeah, Bruce. Oh yeah, God damn it, you can even call yourself Bruce Wayne. Yeah. Yeah, or my name is Tony Stark. Yeah, I know the very same Tony Stark from Marvel, but that's my name too. But it's like a second chance you can choose your own identity.
I'm gonna go as Genghis Khan.
Oh, that's a lovely
That's
one.
Mongolian though.
Yeah, don't worry.
That's kind of the point. Yeah, credit rating.
It's gonna piss people off.
I'd be in one of those mining camps.
If anything, this film shows that mining can't be all that bad, right? Because these guys are miserable in Romulus. Going back to the film, these guys are miserable mining in that whatever that planet was it Nova or something? And they were basically the whole plan to go to the space station was because they needed something in order to fly out of
space travel to another colony.
Space travel.
Better colony where they can see the sunlight.
I thought that was ironic though. Cause compared to what ends up happening to them in the film, it was ironic as fuck that they escape mining and then they get fucked.
It's one way or another. They're gonna die in a spaceship or they're gonna die in the minefield. So
did any of the deaths surprise you?
No.
What did you expect? like everyone to
the
die, or did
second
you think like, okay,
a face hugger gets on Navarro, you know she's fucked. Also,
oh yeah,
like any of them, you're just like, oh no, they're all just dead. There's no way that they're gonna.
I
all
thought they
survive.
did a good job playing K up a bit.
Yeah,
because you think like K is straight up dead, but she's
Yeah, she was a surprise. She's a deliver, yes. And oh yeah, remember when we are speaking of the pregnant lady. If you remember when they initially entered the space station, there was old paint on the wall. I think it's a you
I
know
don't think I picked up that reference.
the infant was sucking his dead mother's breast. It was like a old fashioned. I think it's about like a French great DC back to like 17th, 18th century. But yeah, I think that's a smart point because when I saw that painting and they do have a like a 1 second close up to that infant sucking the dead mother's breast, I was like, oh, seems like that's what's gonna happen in the end, and they do. We see the giant basketball player sucking the dead
Yeah,
character's
The
breast.
fucked up
was that
looking
monster a reference
cross
from a
between.
previous Alien?
Yeah, it's
Resurrection?
sort of like a reference to Prometheus, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it kind of looks like the
yeah.
engineer.
Engineer. They do have an engineer face, skeleton, blood,
Yeah,
skin color.
drinking all that black blood.
Yeah, just black
Goo,
milk.
the black goo.
Yeah, the new product on Whole Food. Yeah, black milk, baby.
But it makes me question because like a lot of the maybe Hicks you'd know this like a lot of the alien films have so much Roman and Greek mythology
Yeah.
references.
Oh,
Like why do you think that's such a like a constant like theme in these films?
yeah. It seems like all the directors are fascinated by the ancient mythology and back to Weyland Yutani as a giant corporation that across the globe. I think the crew just want to reflect the ambitions of this super mega capitalistic corporation. Like it seems like the Weyland is trying to written his own mythology. He wanted to be probably the new Alexander the Great. All his space
But
station.
isn't he dead though? Because he dies
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Prometheus.
yeah. I think so.
But that's set like years before this film.
Yeah, I think so.
So it makes you question like who's in control of Weyland Yutani.
Yeah, we never see the high table of that company. So it could be a bunch of grandma, but it also could be like some super hot teenagers.
It could be an android.
Yeah, you never know. It could be Elon
Directed by
Musk.
M. Night Shyamalan. Great
Yeah.
premises.
It could be.
Garbage story.
We don't do that here. We don't talk about that guy.
Oh.
Only you do, John.
I'll pull him up.
You have. I've got like it's kind of become a running gag now where you bring up his name
He's so
every
great.
time we do an
That's
episode.
so great. He has like some good movies, and then you like watch the good movies, and then you're like, cool, I want more of this. And then you watch one of his shit movies, and you're like, did somebody just let him do whatever he wanted to, and he just did?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I guess.
Make one big movie that pop culture will never forget
Sixth
about,
Sense.
and that's your free pass to do whatever the fuck you want. Like Adam Sandler. He makes movies because he just wants to hang out with his friends.
Uncut Gems is pretty good.
That is that is his career best role, but it's. Could you imagine him in an alien movie?
That'd be awesome. That's kind of like so there was that comedic actor that was in Alien Covenant. I watched half of it last night until we were like, oh, it's time to go to bed. The guy from
Danny McBride.
yeah, Danny McBride. I was like, what is he doing in this movie?
Yeah.
I'm Tennessee. I mean, this guy's just
They
goofy.
they kept trying to force people to know like James Franco's in the film.
Yeah,
for
he's
like
in the film for
30
like 15
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything you'll
and they
miss.
did this thing where before Covenant came out, they made like a short film about the Covenant crew before they go to hyper like Cyro sleep or whatever.
Cairo.
And then they have James Franco in it. So imagine they made like a special short film with him in it, just to like make it a bit of a prelude to Covenant. And then in the end, the guy's just killed in like the first 30 seconds. And that's that. I thought that was kind of ironic and funny.
Yeah.
That they did that. At points, I was like questioning: am I watching an alien movie or am I watching like a Seth Rogen, James Franco movie?
Alien Express.
Alien Express.
Yep.
What do you think of like the set pieces in this film? Because like I feel like I know we spoke about like the facehugger temperature scene, but like I feel like for me the film really dialed up the tension like the last 30 minutes. Once like the deaths started to come in and there were just two left, I feel like that's when I was really invested in the story, when it was just Rain and Andy, and I was like, that's when I was like, okay, now the story is thickening. Like the plot thickens now. Like who's gonna die? Is someone gonna survive? And I thought the scene where like they had to like basically like Rain had to turn off gravity and all that acid was floating in that chamber. I thought that was like the most tense scene. That really worked for me. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
I like that as well.
Yeah, I love those. It's pretty surprised. Like, if you guys seen the 2013 Alien PC game that's been called Alien Colonial Marines, during its trailer, shit game but great trailer. Shit game but great trailer.
Shit, what? What?
Yeah.
I thought anything alien you're like all about. It's like your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I really love that trailer though. I mean, in the trailer, there's just a bunch of space marines. It's like there's a xenomorph in their spaceship, and all the battalions is like fighting, like firing at the aliens. And in the end, you see there's a big explosion in their spaceship, and all the alien acid blood floating in the vacuum, like slowly gathering together, become the headline colonial marines. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And and this time we see that kind of like floating acid blood in this new production. That's what I like. Yeah, that's pretty surprised. And yeah, it
I
definitely.
didn't know that was a reference. I didn't know that was a reference. I thought that was
Maybe it's an original idea, but just two idea. Sometimes you think about the others bring up the original idea, but somehow find out that the original idea already being released like years ago. But yeah, maybe that's something new. That was intentionally something new from the crew. Maybe not. Maybe they watched the trailer. But either way, it's good. Either way, it's a good way to bring up the attention. Because the liquid floating in the space is unpredictable, and that's the point. I think the atmosphere is like pressing the audience finally compared to the jump scare, like boom boom. Yeah.
Yeah. Works a lot better.
Yeah, that was the peak. That was the peak. And that that bit where like the xenomorph like holds her while they're like floating. I was like, oh shit, is this guy like good? Is he gonna like pull an Alien versus Predator and like play a good guy now? But then turns out he was just trying to keep her alive, and I was like, that was a cool moment. Like I enjoyed the suspense and morality of the creature, because I was like, oh fuck, like what are they gonna do here? Like why is this guy not killing her? And it turns out he was just like trying to keep her.
Got
for a minute.
got another face hugger. And if you remember the Aliens 3, this kind of classic alien human face to face, but the alien's not killing the target. It's kind of like and I have to say,
there's loads of references.
Yeah, it's romantic though. Like imagine if I have an alien tail one day, I wish I can try to grab a girl like that. Like, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, that whole like blood scene. I only have one nitpick about that. Like the killing all the aliens, that was badass. But in an earlier scene, they showed you like how much ammo the guns have, and straight out of a video game, they have like a display, and
Yeah.
you're like, okay, well, how many bolts does this have? 320. I didn't count them. I'm not a crazy person, but I swear to God, they went way over that. Like, right when it said low, she's still just unloading. Just the gun like never runs out of
Yeah.
ammo.
Yeah. It never has a
I,
reloading.
I noticed.
Yeah, I found that too. Like, back to Alien 2, there's a bullet count it's just next to the rifle. They have a little cute display, but this time I don't know if the Corp have a better rifle compared to the troops, but yeah, I mean, if they somehow highlighted the numbers limited about the bullets, then definitely the temperature gonna rising again. But sadly, they don't. It just go into the superhuman mode. Like, yeah, bring it up.
It's plot armor, isn't it?
I guess
It's
so.
a point
She's gonna
where
survive.
they're not gonna. Yeah, they're obviously not
Yeah,
gonna.
the script-
Well, it's a cliche. Well, you got the cliche where the hero runs out of like bullets at the wrong time,
Yep.
and that I guess that does happen. But yeah, it did. I did notice where it was saying low, but like she still ended up like shooting
Yeah,
like 50 rounds.
yeah. I mean, yeah. At that point, we as the audience just do not worry about the bullet problem anymore, and that's a failure. That would be a failure. Like even imagine, like, okay, let's keep the rim, keep shooting, but she needs to changing the magazine from time to time, and during that gap, the alien still crawling to her. Like, imagine that. That could be a better work compared to just fucking Call of Duty mode.
Let me hide behind this wall to regenerate my leg.
True.
Yeah. I feel like there's certain things like I said earlier, there's certain things that you expect in an alien movie, and I don't know what it is, but like, I mean, Hicks, maybe you could expand on it more, but like, why do you think most of these films end up with the main person, the main character, going to sleep in those sleeping capsules, and it always ends with like them leaving whatever fucked up planet or space station they're in, where all their crew gets killed, and then turns out there's always a twist. There's always something. There's always another alien in the ship that somehow snuck in, and why do you think that's the case? Like, why can't they break free from that mold?
I think it's kind of like almost like becoming a legacy to the Alien IT. Like all the stories, all the characters, all the survivors, in the end, just sleep. Just like, fuck it, I'm out. Like, yeah, like in a higher point, you can almost see that Alien story is kind of like a individual against the giant capitalistic company, and I like it from my perspective. To put an end like that is somehow like telling the audience there's no absolute 100% win scenario in this kind of story. It's always like gonna be like a lost. Like even the survivors in the end escaped. Then they go into sleep, and the situation is out of their control. And a very good way to connect the second one to the future productions. They could be like found by some good people. It could be found by some bad guys. They could just but I think I think at this point the creative team just don't really want to break that circle, so they just want to keep this loop forever. I mean, it's smart when we saw the first Alien movie, and they do make a excellent work to continue to the second Alien. But eventually audience gonna get tired about that. And well, luckily this time, probably for some new audience, this is their first time to see a finished alien story. But imagine in the next piece, if the character keep doing that, then people are gonna be
Yeah, it's gonna get really stale, and
yeah.
I don't know.
Just be
It's
happy.
gonna become like Marvel.
Be
Yeah,
happy they don't make one every year. I guess that's really all it is. Although I think Hicks, I think you should direct and write the next Alien film. I think you do a really good job.
Oh my
Really
God,
good
John,
ideas.
that's a huge credit.
You gotta pitch it.
Yeah.
You got, and that's actually good. That's a good point, John. Because I wanted to ask Hicks, what would your ideal alien film be about?
That's a very good question. And one day, if I have the honor to direct, we're gonna direct it together. Yeah, our three. We're gonna be the core. We're gonna be the golden triangle. Like, no, fuck this script. It's not working. Go rewrite it again.
As long as I can get killed by a xenomorph in the film, I'll do it.
You will. And yeah, if I do have the honor to picture myself an alien story, then well, at first I have to consider that okay, Alien IP is not new anymore, and all those old fascinating tricks, audience, it's not new anymore to the audience. Then we have to bring up something new. And well, the basketball player in the end played a good practice, and but back to my point, I probably gonna try to combine some kind of elements from both Alien 1 and Alien 2 as an audience to see the individuals running desperate from the alien is good. And also to see Space Marines well equipped, firepower no problem, to fighting against the bad bugs is also like a good point. But I would say the gold standard is definitely to be realistic. It come to like a lack of realism, just like a ring fire the rifle like have infinity bullets. That's not gonna work. And also the yeah, and somehow I want like I definitely want to like improve the desperation in the movie. The character gonna be like completely cut off by all means. Like just like the isolation. We are scared because we know that there's nobody we can count on. We don't really we don't even have a Andy. We don't even have a cyborg beside of me. Like and in the other hand, the corporation definitely can't give a shit about the characters. And
No, they're not gonna care.
and yeah, and by emphasizing that, I think the whole alien vision is gonna like performing at its best level.
I do wish we see more like of like Weyland Yutani and what their plans are, because like
Yeah,
they've always been shown as like, okay, we know we can feel that they're at like their presence is there because they're the ones behind everything that's happening, and all these expeditions with these crews, they're just like hamster experiments, because they know like they want to send them like pawns to these planets where aliens are, and hopefully they can get them and get this DNA that can advance the human race or whatever. But I want to see them get like actively involved. Like I want
yeah,
to see, what's happening more from their perspective. I think that will be cool. I think they've built the suspense for so long. But like it would be nicer to see, like that's why I said like in Romulus, the bit that I liked a lot was the opening, because I thought that it had this sort of mystery vibe to it. It kind of reminded me of like, I mean, I don't know if you guys are like Kubrick fans, probably not, but it reminded me of like 2001: A
ah,
Space Odyssey, when like
classic.
they go to the moon.
Hmm.
Yeah, they go to the moon, and they discover this monolith, and they're all like trying to investigate what's happening, and there's no dialogue or anything, and it's a suspense, and it's eerie, and I don't know if it's a homage, but it definitely reminded me of that. And when I look at 2001, I hold that in a very high regard, because that for me is a film that explores so many ideas, and it does that without necessarily being convoluted with dialogue or screenplay. Like, it's got amazing execution through visuals, and I feel like it would be cooler to see like the Alien films break the tropes that they have and do something more like in that regard. I know like Prometheus and Covenant tried that philosophically with the whole idea of like the engineers and this advanced human race, but I feel like there's a struggle in like trying to please the fans of the franchise by having the xenomorphs and trying to do something more with it.
Yeah,
Do you guys like agree on that,
I
or
agree with
like
that.
what do you guys feel?
Yeah, if I were to direct an Alien film, I would do a Alien / Predator / Freddy versus Jason battle royale. It would be 90 minutes of bad jokes and people dying. It would be like a teenage slumber party of just shitty teenagers just dying.
I think that will actually come out perfect. I would say like people are dying to like the Pooh release during this whole summer break. So yeah, all the students, all the uni students gonna crawl into theater and watch it. I gotta watch it. Yeah, yeah, imagine.
Crawl.
Yeah, just oh baby, I can't wait to get like fucked in the theater. Like yeah,
And then like
let's
the
go there.
acronym for that title would be insane. It'd be longer than the movie.
Yeah,
It'd be AVP versus FVJ.
yeah, just
Yeah, we're totally gonna pretend like the Alien versus Predator films did not exist.
yeah. Oh, speaking of the AVP, I really love the first one, even though it's just fuck around by 20 Fox. But I think the first one impressed me.
So you're saying there's still hope? There's a chance.
Nah, no,
They could.
I'm not saying that because the second one is just a kind of.
We already saw what happened when a major
Yeah.
studio tried to make a monster crossover universe
monster, yeah.
with the Mummy and Frankenstein and
Yeah.
Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. The monster
Yeah, that's true.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not gonna
It's a
work.
bad idea.
Crossovers.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Did you guys watch?
It's too late to.
Sorry. Did you?
Yeah, you were saying.
Did you guys watch the Godzilla versus Kong?
Unfortunately.
Are you the Japanese one?
No, the
American one.
no American one.
I
Released also
unfortunately
this
went to
year, I
the
think.
theater and saw it.
Oh,
pretty
that
upset.
one. No, I didn't see it, but I watched. I've seen the trailer,
Don't see it.
but I didn't watch the film.
Don't watch it. Oh my god,
Is it
it
good?
made me throw up. Like it,
Wow.
yeah.
I didn't have that adverse reaction to it. I more like fell asleep, but
Yeah. It's like it's horrible. I mean, no matter for both Godzilla or Kong, like it's just like a playhouse, but a monster version, and you know, it feels like all these giant alpha monsters are like listening to humans order. Like, I really made yeah.
Monster movies are at a low point.
Yeah.
You could say
Yeah,
well, you
I
had
really
the
miss.
Godzilla
being-
-1. I heard that was good. I still have to see it.
that was good.
Mhm.
That was the one that won an Oscar as well, and it made in Japan,
Speaking of
which is more authentic.
movie
to its roots, I
awards,
guess.
do you think Adi that Romulus will win any awards?
That's a good question. I thought about it, and I think like definitely not from an artistic like performance or screenplay. I mean, it could sort of have a shout at sound or like the technical elements, but I just think like it's still too early. Like, you know, there's still a lot of other films that could potentially outshadow it, and I just think like I can't see it outshining Dune 2
Right.
like on a technical level.
Yeah.
I think that's probably gonna sweep the awards, but I don't see a potential win here for any category. It could maybe get a nomination for like a technical category, but yeah,
Yeah,
I really don't think it has like a substantial chance.
No, I don't
yeah,
think so either.
yeah. Maybe a nominees.
I thought like, I mean, you look at the budget, like for what it's worth, like they had like $80 million to make this film, and I definitely think for that amount, it's good. Like what they've achieved is not bad. Apart from that shitty deep fake AI on on Rook,
Oh,
the android character.
straight out of Alien
That bit
Covenant
felt like,
CGI, those little baby xenomorphs. That's what it
oh,
looks like. Like it's
that was
PS3
yeah,
graphics.
that was yeah. It's good you brought that up because that Covenant had like horrible CGI.
Yeah, I watched half of
It
it.
felt like when you watched like the original Alien and then you watch Covenant, you're like, how's a film that came out 45 years ago got better effects and looks way better than this that came out like just a few years ago? So
Cutting costs and getting
it's
lazy.
it's good that they went back to the
Yeah,
roots.
apparently in Covenant they had practical effects, but they CGI'd over them. They used practical effects to get a good response out of the actors, but then they're like, nah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good for the actors and the performance, but then what about like the actual, the actual alien itself? And that's why this film, it can get away with it because it's not working in a crazy scale. It's not like they're in a crazy planet where they need to CGI everything. Like they can get away with having robots and practical, what do you call it? Models or dolls
Robots.
because like they're set in like a claustrophobic set, and that works and looks better. Like the retrofuturism looks way better.
Yeah.
And I think that goes in line with the crew as well, because like you look at the crew in the Alien film or in this film, I mean they're just like regular blue collar workers. They're not like gifted individuals or like compared to like Prometheus. And I think there was a question that was asked to Ridley Scott was like, why is in Prometheus, a film that's set like way before Alien and Romulus, why are the crew and the ship and the technology more advanced than it is in the films that are set like way after? And he said that's just because like, those crews, they were regular blue collar workers. They weren't given the best and the latest technology. They were just like regular folk who were just sent to missions, and they had like shitty spaceships compared to Prometheus, which is like Veyland's personal
Yes.
mission.
Yeah. Super
So
advanced.
that's why there's such a big difference.
Yeah. Yep. It's
So in that regard, that's how it is.
Yeah, it's like a classic company don't give a shit about the individual's life. It's a classic capitalistic problem argument.
Which is why like they need to like build on that
Right.
more.
Fucked up megacorp.
But who knows? Maybe. I mean, if I could see them going down the route of like, making a TV series or like a, I don't know, like the Terminator, for example. They just made a animated anime out of it. How would you feel about that, Hicks? Like if they made like a TV series or an anime out of it, do you think that would actually relieve the pressure of like being an alien film and make it more interesting?
Yeah, I definitely can see it as a solution. I would say I'm not gonna against if sometime one day Netflix gonna do a alien animation as long as the story is not too
Well, it wouldn't be
retarded.
Netflix because it's
Oh
it's
yeah.
owned by
Yep.
Disney.
It'd
Oh
be
yeah.
It'll
Oh,
never be
animated,
Netflix.
forgot it.
rated R.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cute if, I mean, they do have a lot side story video games already, and some of those storyline is good. It's good. I mean, sometimes even the video game is somehow limited those golden script itself, and if it can be somehow become an episode, It'll be cute, but yeah, definitely not this kind of old topic about crew abandoning the space station stuff. Yeah, something new would be better. Something new.
They need to revitalize it because like the one thing that I had a problem with was figuring out was the timeline is
Ah,
so confusing.
yeah, yeah,
I
that's true.
I
Yeah,
had to remember what I have to watch before I watch this movie, so I understand at least
mm.
kind of what's going on. Like I watched all of Prometheus and like half a Covenant, and then I went to go see it.
No, I don't think
Yeah,
Prometheus is gonna help this one. I think it's just
no.
about Alien One. Yeah,
I guess you watch Alien One and
yeah.
maybe Alien Two.
Yeah. We'll watch both of them. Yeah, I think a lot. This latest production is Alien Isolation happened between one and two. This
Uh huh.
Romulus between one and two, and even no, I think the Colony Marines happened between two and three, and yeah, I mean all these new productions are still surrounding the old legends, just like kids play around with their dads, and.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a bit frustrating because it's like, they do this thing where like, okay, this character is like got plans and they're going to sleep in the space station in the spaceship, and you're like, you're never gonna see this character again
They died off screen.
Yeah, that's
because they're probably gonna be dead or like they're just not gonna re-explore it again. So
yeah,
feels like a cop out sometimes.
yeah. I feel like through this latest production, they are desperate to find a new Ripley,
Yeah,
which is
it
Rain.
shows
Hmm.
Yeah,
big time.
they're always gonna be a female, like a girl hero,
Yeah,
tough girl.
it's really hard to
Yeah,
find a badass woman that can.
Did you like her performance? Did you like Caly Spaeny as Rain?
I found I like her. I like her. I mean, I'm not that picky for about her performance, and I didn't know when I first saw this Alien production, but after I watched the Civil War, and then after that, I was scrolling on social media, and someone said, "Oh, that's a young journalist from Civil War." I was like, "Wait a minute! Oh my God! It is her. The girl certainly keep herself busy this year, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was her other breakout performance. Civil War, directed by Alex Garland, sort of a dystopian
hmm
political thriller. Uh, she plays a journalist in that, and she also played Priscilla in the story of I think her marriage with Presley. So that was another role that was like brought her attention. So yeah, she's having quite the moment. I liked her performance. I thought she was good. I thought she just like played it very like safe
hmm
and but at the same time it's like it's the bit that I really liked was at the end where like I thought her character got better as the film went on because like she became less a sort of a concerning worrying character and more of like okay, I got to take things in my own hand now. And I like the bit where towards the end where like the crazy fucked up human xenomorph creature is like alien is like trying to kill her, and she's in a space like astronaut suit, and she's like, "Die, motherfucker, die!"
yeah,
That's like that that got a chuckle out of me. And that was like the bit where I thought the tension was like at its peak. Like you
hmm
feel like okay, it's gonna settle now, and like there's just gonna be like they're gonna survive, and then bam, out of nowhere, this fucking creature shows up, and it's so creepy because it was
yeah,
like coming out of that girl's womb, and it's just so like ugh, gave me the ick.
yeah, it was growing so fast, too fast. Oh my God. Uh, Yeah, definitely that basketball player was a surprise in the end. Yeah.
I love how you reference him as a
Pretty much
basketball
what he is. He's
player.
straight out of Space Jam.
Yeah. I mean
One of
it's
the
short.
monstars.
Yeah. Yeah, I really wish I can see this movie in the premiere. So in that case, before I go to theater, I was trying my best to protect myself to not to avoid the to avoid the spoiler.
Spoilers.
But yeah,
Right.
yeah, some people are like, oh, check the lost basketball player in the end. I was like, God damn it, shut up. And but yeah, that definitely a surprise. Didn't see that one coming. And yeah, I do think that's the charming of the Alien IP. It's like we are doing the chemistry test. You never know what new compounds you're gonna get. It's like an equation.
Yeah. If anything, this film shows like the xenomorph DNA works with pretty much any other DNA. Like it can cross with like anything you throw at it, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. That is cool. But I don't know. Yeah, that bit that bit definitely was like where I was like not expecting it to push it that further. I thought they were gonna settle, and then out of nowhere they're like, yeah, they dialed it up to the max at that point, which worked. I think the last 30 minutes of the film is like the strongest.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree? Or
Yes.
like pacing wise, were you guys like bored of it at any moment?
At an hour or like 2/3 of it or whatever. I don't actually know the time, but I was like, all right, the plot's all wrapped up. Is the movie over? And I'm like looking at my watch. I'm just like, that I don't have. I'm just like, is the movie over? And then I'm like checking to see if there's any like after credit scenes I gotta stay for. And then the movie keeps going.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. I
And then,
understand.
it like you said, it does get better, but still, it's like, God damn it.
Yeah, a lot of people feel like the first 35 minutes of the film is like a bit too slow, or like it's like not enough to hook you into it. And I tend to agree,
Yeah.
just because like it's not interesting to see setup. Because half these characters are gonna die. That's the problem.
Yeah, there's a problem with this kind of old existing IP that we all know what's gonna happen. Well, except for the very young audience, they don't. But you can always go watch the old movie already. And
Right.
yeah, I have to say
on their
after
phone.
after that all silent, professional mystery opening, and they suddenly jump into the colony. Rain, desperate life.
Yeah.
Retarded android brother.
Exposition.
I mean, I mean, I was like, oh my God.
Retarded.
I should have seen that, but I was like, oh my God, here we go again. All the introduction, all the personas building, all the conflict, background story. I don't give a shit. Like, honestly, I don't give a shit. Oh yeah, even those persona idea, even those persona establishing, it's nothing new. It's nothing new. Problematic teenagers, like problematic colony authorities, kind of like different demands got cancelled, and young punks, little punks entering the space station, and it just can't give.
I will say though, like unlike the other films though, like at least the other crews had a purpose, because like they were good at something.
Yeah.
Like one guy was a pilot,
Right.
one guy was
Hired muscle.
a field scientist. Yeah, but in this one, they were pretty much like just kids. They're useless except for like maybe Andy and Tyler, and obviously you got Rain. But I thought the rest were like redundant.
Tyler played Call of Duty, so he has some use.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, in the middle of the movie, it just reminds me of field trip. It's like middle school, high school field trip. Oh, let's go to the space museum! Yay! And just yay! Yeah. Just have some face hugger, some beautiful xenomorph, and it just can't turn me on. I mean, we like.
I think there was like a reference where like there was gonna be a explosion because like the Romulus space station like the Remus and Romulus station, they're both like close to Mars. I mean, not Mars, Saturn, the planet, or like something like that.
They had like
And there's
asteroid
like an
field.
explosion that's gonna take place on the ring, and that's gonna happen in like 40 minutes or something, and it was actually in real time to the film.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Like it actually does, happen at that time that they say. So that was interesting, but I don't know. I felt like it's like it's never a good idea to go to like a place where there's no one else and something's abandoned.
There's a reason.
And like one thing I hate about like all these alien films is they'll go to a new planet and they'll just like open their space suits and they'll just breathe the air.
Yeah, it's dummy. Yeah, it's a dumb action
Yeah, I was rolling
behavior.
my eyes hard on Covenant. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Prometheus, it made sense.
You guys are literal scientists. Like how is it wise to just go around sniffing and touching stuff from a completely
That's true.
Alien planet?
Fuck, you might
Yeah.
like everything.
Yeah, just let's have some marijuana on this new planet. Yeah.
Right.
Get the life going. Yeah, for for this kind of horror movie, that I know that director want to push the story faster to have some accident, but it don't necessarily need to like occur by some idiotic behavior by some characters. It's not gonna help. It's gonna be like, okay, it's another shit production. Probably the screenwriter couldn't have a better idea in the middle of the night. Like, okay, guys, let's do this retarded solution. I know it's retarded, but we can at least go to bed now.
I mean, if you think about it, the biggest antagonist in the film was literally an android who had half his body cut out.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like a video
Like
game.
that guy was, yeah,
Yeah, just
like the bits where you see his face on a screen were okay, but like whenever it was like his actual like upper body,
God.
yeah, no, it was so
puked.
bad. It was so bad. It was I was like deep fake AI.
I was like, I thought AI got better. What's going on?
yeah, it's just a creamy spaghetti face. Yeah,
Still
or
looks
the
bad.
noodles
Stop
inside the
doing it.
body.
Recast him.
Yeah, it definitely lost points for me just because of that. And I know I'm not the only one who felt that way, because when I was like looking up reactions, everyone had a problem with that. And they just, I don't know, even though it's like not too significant to the plot, but like, yeah, everyone hated it. they just thought it was like Disney needs to drop the obsession with
Member berries.
using VFX CGI and whatever it is, trying to create like recreate dead characters or dead actors playing characters, because this is definitely not the first time it's happened.
Yeah,
But it's a weird one, that bit.
yeah, that is true.
All right, are you ready
Yeah.
for ratings, Adi? Or did you have any?
Let's go to final thoughts.
Sure.
Let's do it. You want to go first?
Sure. We already knew I had problems with the CGI. Sure, we'll say it again. That CGI dead guy, it looked like shit. It was ass. I really wish they used a new character, put some acid on his face, and made him completely an android. I like the silent scenes at the start of the movie. Those are actually, other than the climax of the film, that's like one of my favorite scenes, just dead space. Practical effects in this movie are fantastic, and when they're used, you use animatronics, you use the pivoting heads. The aliens, for the most part, look pretty good. When you use a CGI, I get reminded of the CGI guy, which is a problem. I have flashbacks from watching Covenant, and I'm wondering, am I watching a movie right now? You don't want to say, am I watching a movie right now? That's how much it thrown me out of it. I like a lot of the sounds, other than the loud Jump scares. Don't put that in any more horror movies. Knock it off. They're not. It's. I know you want to make the teenagers look up from their phone, but you need to knock it off. Minus points for jump scares. Minus points for the bad CGI guy. I would have rated this higher if they would have not used a dead person. I give it a 5 out of 10.
A 5 out of 10. Okay.
I was.
It's a decent score.
That's pretty.
It's average.
That's decent. Yeah, I can agree with that. I agree with everything you said. I thought the exact same as well. I'll just say, like, I think the movie works for being a genre film with like suspense and thriller. Like, whenever they dialed it up towards the last 30 minutes, that bit worked. But unfortunately, the problem is, like, you start the film really well, and then you've got like so much exposition and unnecessary setup when like you're familiar with what's gonna happen, and then you're just waiting to get to the juicy bits. And for me, like, I love the bit when it felt like a video game, and I think that works to the director's strengths. He clearly knows how to direct horror and suspense, and those bits work for me, like set pieces inside where they're trying to escape, and towards the end with the floating acid and all that sort of stuff. And I gotta obviously shout out the production design, and the fact that they could use like props and practical effects definitely upped it for me. And I think like the only thing like I felt missing was like, I wish we could see more of like the lore of the Alien films being utilized. And I don't know if it's the director playing it safe to his strengths, but it would have been nicer to see more of like, what this could possibly mean for the future, or like how this connects more to the myth of the Alien franchise, or the lore of it. I felt like that got disconnected, and it became more like a haunted house film. So apart from that, a shout out to Andy. The android, the performance by that actor was probably the best out of everyone, and obviously it was the most interesting character. But overall, it's a film I think made to get newer, younger audiences to get hooked into the franchise, and I think it succeeds to an extent. But I don't think it surpasses like Alien or Alien 2. I think like those two will always be like the best up there. But yeah, for me, like, I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10.
Fair.
I think it was
Yeah.
I thought it did the job well when it was a genre film, but I feel like some other parts I wish there was more that it could have gone to, and I wish it was less predictable when it had to, like, it should not play it safe with certain things that it tries to replicate. But I did enjoy the suspense and the thrills, except for the jump scares, of course. But that leaves us to our special guest, Hicks. What's your final thoughts and rating? Your opinion supersedes us, 'cause you're the man who lives and breathes this.
I'm not that too dramatic, but about creating this picture, definitely I'm agree with all of you. The jump scare is definitely not a good point for the new production. It's certainly missing the true legacy of the Alien IP, and also the crew selecting. I mean, I just don't get it when they talk about like a bunch of UK accent teenagers. I don't feel sorry for them, and probably only a little concern on Tyler and Rain and the cute little cyborg, but it's not working very well. And the narrative, it was too slow in the first beginning. There's another like chronic issue, like this kind of old story. Then everybody already knows what's happened, but the film gotta like display everything anyway, and that was the part that missing all the tension and the audience losing focus. and also the lack of realism, the infinite bullets, of course, and also the overall background story is only narrated by a chopped head android. It's just like it. It was too much like a video game. I mean, it could work as a real video game, but it's a movie, and the audience may lose focus, and also the missing background story of some charming personas. I do wish the director can do more on that, and so it at least some audience will be like more connected to certain uh, characters, just like even like the retarded android. I want to know what happened to him, like what was causing him to like behavior like this, and why he was like planted to the hierarchy mission that which is protecting Rain in the very beginning. Like we know they have this kind of dialogue, but some flashback would be I don't mind, but on the positive way, definitely I would say a very well production on both sound and visual. I do feel that kind of like an epic universe vibe. It almost feels like an Interstellar in the end when the space station crashed into the rain, and I love that. And yeah, I didn't see any of that in the old Alien picture, probably due to the technology limits, and also the callback, some of the callback contribution to the old legend. I don't mind that. I mean, it's a continuation of this dying old story, so some flashback would be nice. So we do have the privilege to see from Alien 1 to Alien 4, all the different details. And yeah, it's a kind of cute to see some old friend in the theater, like talking about its glorious history. So, well, in conclusion, I do think, yeah, I'll also consider the all the reviews that appear online now, no matter it's in China or in America. At least in China, the new generation audience feels okay about this movie. They are not like too disturbing by that, which I think it's pretty successful as a continuation of Aliens. So in conclusion, I'll get it 6 out of 10. Also, if I could, I would probably rate it 5.5. But yeah, it definitely it definitely didn't
Closer
meet
to a
my
5 than a
expectation.
6.
But yeah, but I had still positive as a
I
continuation.
think that does average. That does give it an average of 5.5 if you add up our
Yeah.
scores. So I think it does work. But I mean, it's made 290
Yeah,
million.
Whoa.
there's gonna be
So
another one.
I think it is
Not bad.
It'd be weird.
Yeah. It is a success. It's not a great success, but it's still better than the previous two films that have
That's true.
come out and like.
That's true.
So
Yeah, they're gonna get some money first and creativity later. Otherwise, nobody gonna watch it anyway.
yeah, who knows? I mean, if Ridley Scott's still around, I'm sure he'll keep making one or two here and there until he makes like a really bad one.
Until he dies.
That's
Yeah, I mean it's his franchise, isn't it?
yeah.
True.
I
It's rare to see like what happened to Blade Runner 2049. Like that was a film which again, we know Blade Runner is a Ridley Scott creation, but that second film really does it for me. I think it's a masterpiece, and it beats the original for me. At least that's my opinion. But the reason why it does that is I think it's great that they gave someone new the creative liberty to work with the world building and the material while still, acknowledging the original and paying, close respects to what the first one did. and that is exactly like the direction they need to head with it. And I think that's what they're doing with this. They gave this horror director a chance, and I think when the film deals with those elements, it works. But yeah, I think like maybe we'll see more like we'll see a better take. I'll expand on the universe and be less just obsessed with like a crew getting fucked up every now and then. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with both of your thoughts. I think you both like really hit the nail on the head.
Agree.
All right. You ready for our next rec?
Yep.
All
Go
right.
for it.
So this was a special episode. We had one of Adi's pals come in. But for our next one, I don't think we're going to have any special guests. Oh, that's sad, but that's okay. I would like to do the 2005 film Hard Candy. Adi, have you seen Hard Candy 2005?
No, I've not. So,
All right. I say 2005 because apparently there's like a 1970 something also movie named Hard Candy that we are not going to watch. But that one's apparently about a lollipop shop or something. I'm just like, what? So to go into the synopsis, Elliot Page plays Haley. And Haley's a smart, charming teenage girl. And Jeff's a handsome, smooth fashion photographer. An internet chat, a coffee shop meetup, and an impromptu fashion shoot back at Jeff's place. What's gonna happen? Uh-oh. If you don't want to be spoiled for Hard Candy 2005, you should check it out. And you won't be spoiled. Do you have anything else, Adi?
No, I look forward to it, and I just want to say a special thank you to Hicks for joining us for this episode and sharing your thoughts. It was an absolute blast to have you here, buddy, and we look forward to hopefully bring you back in the podcast if they have something exciting in the future that is alien.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine, Adi. It's really nice to catch up with you again, and it's really nice to meet John. I'd say, yeah, I think both of you are fascinating person. I really wish that we could have the opportunity to actually catch up offline, to grab some coffee, probably continue to talk about the story, movies. I really wish that. But yeah, it's a good time for me to talk about Alien again to some people, and don't really have that opportunity all the day. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome.
Well, we're glad to have you. It was an absolute pleasure. So thank you for listening, everyone, and we'll see you for the next episode on Hard Candy.
See you, Space Cowboy.